Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a video on how to install the Mayflash 2-controller Gamecube adapter that looks like this. It's used to allow you to use Gamecube controllers on your PC. This is what it looks like. It's a very simple device. It's just this, which has the ports for the Gamecube controllers and the USB cord. However, this tutorial will most likely work for the 4-player one as well. It's also Mayflash, it's the same company. You can get it for $15 on Amazon. Pretty sure it's a very similar process. However, this tutorial will not work for the official Nintendo Wii U adapter, which requires a whole different set of instructions. And if anyone watching this video is interested in me giving the instructions on how to use that one to play games, then just let me know and I'll think about making one for that, because it's a whole different can of worms and it's a lot more complicated. Actually the Mayflash one is a lot easier because it's made for this. This tutorial is specifically for the game Rivals of Aether, and so we'll be covering that game in detail. So the first thing that you want to do, if you have the two-port Mayflash adapter, is you want to plug it in. So I'll show you what happens. I'm going to go to Device Manager. Okay. So Device Manager, it's easy. You just go to Control Panel. You open that up. I'm viewing by large icons here, and then Device Manager. Click on Device Manager. Now under Human Interface Devices, I'm using Windows 7 by the way, you've got all this crap. So what I'm going to do now is plug in the Mayflash adapter. Okay, when I plug it in, as you can see, 2 new controllers have appeared, which makes sense because it's emulating controllers. It's making Windows think that these are controllers. Okay, so that's what should happen when you plug it in. If you have all the latest Windows updates and everything, it should just recognize it as generic game controllers. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. I would tell you to go to the Mayflash website, their official website, where you could download the latest drivers. But oh look, it's down. At the time of making this video, it's down, so even if there were drivers that you could download that would help you Windows recognize it, you're fucked. But I've never had a problem with that. It should work just when you plug it in. It should show up like this, just 2 HID compliant game controllers. If it doesn't, like I said, I'm sorry, their site is down. You're gonna have to talk to them. I don't know where to get a driver outside of their own official site. So anyways, if you've plugged it in and you see these 2 things, congratulations. You're not a complete fuck up. And then you need to get your Gamecube controller now and plug it in to the first slot of the adapter, right? So if this is the adapter, this is the first slot right here. You just plug in your Gamecube controller. It's very simple. And once you plug that in, you're going to need to download a program. It is called Xbox 360 Controller Emulator. So I'm just typing Xbox 360 CE. You don't have to worry about typing this in. All the links to everything you need to download they're going to be in the comments. In the info section. But all you got to type in is Xbox 360 CE, which stands for Xbox 360 Controller Emulator. Okay, click on that. It'll take you to this web page, which is the official web page for this. And you're going to download the 32-bit. There's a download 32-bit, download 64-bit. You're going to want to do the 32-bit. Okay, so you just click on that. It'll download it. It's not very big. Next thing you need to do, you can close out all of that. It's a zip file. Okay, it downloaded a zip file. So the next thing you need to do is find your Rivals of Aether folder, since that's the game we're trying to get to work here. So once you find, so my Rivals of Aether folder is under D, games, but for you it might be program files. And then it would be either Steam or Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Rivals of Aether. And then once you're in the main folder of this, then you open up the Xbox 60 CE, Xbox 360 CE file we just downloaded. And there will be an exe file. You need to extract the exe file into the main folder of Rivals of Aether. Okay? First you gotta find your Rivals of Aether folder. Please do not fucking tell me that you don't know where it is. Okay? You can't be that much of a screw up. You need to know where your folder is. If you can find your Rivals of Aether folder, congratulations, you've passed remedial computing 101. And then you take the Xbox 360 CE file from out of the zip and you put it inside of the Rivals of Aether folder, and then you just open it. Run. Okay. Now, the first thing that'll happen is it pops up, it says, input 131 underscore 3 DLL was not found. This file is required for emulator to function properly. Do you want to create the file? So yeah, okay, whatever. Create. Okay. Now it says new device detected, USB gamepad. This is good. That means it's detected that the Mayflash adapter. And then there's this search automatically for settings. You just say next. And then it should, find it online, source, internet, Rivals of Aether, exe. And then it's going to do it a second time because the Mayflash adapter emulates two controllers. Even if you don't have two Gamecube controllers plugged in, it's going to think you have two controllers. So you just press next, do the same thing. Okay. So if you have done this correctly, what should happen is that when you go to controller 1, if you plugged it into the first spot, and then when you move around these sticks, the D stick and the C stick, you should see movement. That means you're doing it right. You should be able to press the buttons and see that the corresponding buttons on the Xbox controller are also being pressed. It's not an actual Xbox controller, but it's emulating an Xbox controller, and the reason we're doing that is for the purpose of making it easier to play. I don't know how to do this outside of using this emulator, so I do apologize for that. This is just the easiest way of doing it. It'll work just like playing Super Smash Brothers once you've done everything, and your life should be good. And like I said, if you have a four player, say, Mayflash adapter, then you can do 4 controllers and you can invite your friends over. You can play on your computer just as if you were, having a Smash party or whatever it is. So it's not complicated. Now the next part is probably the most complicated part of this whole tutorial, and this is where you really need to pay attention because this is where you're going to configure your GameCube controller to emulate like what it would be like if you were playing Super Smash Brothers. Because right now it thinks it's an Xbox 360 controller, so you're gonna have to do specific things to make it think it's a GameCube controller, or at least to emulate, to pretend that it's a GameCube controller. So this is the part that requires the most precision. Please pay attention, and I will explain it. Okay, so here we are again. From this screen, I'm on the controller 1 tab right now. My mouse cursor is highlighting it. What you need to do is go to controller settings. Controller device, right now it's USB gamepad. Right now I have 2 controller devices, though you could have more, like let's say you had an Xbox 360 controller, I have a Steam controller. You could have the 4-player Mayflash GameCube adapter, in which case you would have 4 of these, and you would have to do each one individually. But right now we're only worrying about the first one because we only have 1 controller. But if you have more than 1 controller, you're going to have to do this for every controller you have. So what you have here is my controller settings, most popular settings for my controllers. Okay, you need to scroll down all the way to this one. It's 26 B2, D2, F2. As of now, it has 24 users using it, okay? This is the one that I've found that works the best for what we're doing, though we will need to make some alterations, but that's fine. So you double click on it. Do you want to load this setting for number 1 USB gamepad controller? Yes. Okay, then it'll take a second. It'll load it. Okay, now you can go back to your controller. Now, there's some things you're going to want to do. Make sure that all the buttons work. But you're going to want to change a few things here. For bumper, for the left bumper, put empty. You don't have a left bumper. It's a GameCube controller. For right bumper, press record. It's just you click on it, the drop down, you press record, and then you press the Z. The Z button is the purple button on the top of the GameCube controller labeled Z. You hardly ever use it, but some players like to use it. I don't know. Just do it, okay? For the left trigger, you're going to want to do record again, and then you just press the left trigger. Do it slowly. Alright, and if you did it right, then you should see where it says left, right here, where it says left, and it starts out at 28, and then as you slowly press it down, the numbers go up to like 225 area, 230. And the right trigger, you do the same thing. Slowly press it down. Takes a second to load. Don't crash on me, please. Okay, takes a second. And it starts around 30. I don't think it matters that much. And then, okay, well, this one's going up a lot higher, which is a little disconcerting. I'm gonna record it again. Whatever. Okay, they both start around 30. They go up to around 240. I don't think it matters that much. Okay, one last thing you need to do is I've assigned the back key, because the thing is, the GameCube controller doesn't have a back key. It doesn't have a back button, rather. And so what I've done is I go to back, and then I go to D-pads, D-pad 1, D-pad up. And so basically, your D-pad up becomes your back or select key, what would typically be like a select key on a normal, say like Xbox or PlayStation or USB controller. And you need this in game. I'll show you why. So yeah, if you've done it correctly, you can press all your buttons and you'll have something will happen. Okay, you've got the Z button. The triggers will look like they're always being held down, but that's fine. They should look like that. If they're not green, you did something wrong. You don't have any left bumper. The right bumper should be button 8. Back should be D-pad 1. Start is button 10. That works. Also, go to left thumb tab here. Make sure that the dead zone is 8%. The sensitivity is 100%. All of that should be standard. I mean, that should all be for the right thumb, which is the C stick. Anti-dead zone should be 80. Dead zone should be 40. 80, 40. Force feedback, whatever. So if you did it all right and you go back to the general screen and it's all looking great, then congratulations. So then you press, and if you have a second controller, you got to do the exact same thing. Okay, you go to the second, you go to controller settings, and then you go down to the second gamepad, and you do exactly, you just repeat the process for each controller. But right now, I'm only showing you how to do it with one controller. It's the same process for each GameCube controller. If you're using a different controller, that's not what this video is about. You're going to have to do something different for that. But anyway, once you're done, you press save, and you close it. You have to close this. If you don't close this, you're going to regret it. But okay, so you close it, open up the Rivals of Aether folder, and then launch the game. You can also launch it through Steam. It doesn't matter, but you don't even have to have Steam open. You just double click on the exe. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to launch it right now. Okay, this is the final piece of the puzzle. This is the last thing you got to do. It's pretty simple. Your controller should be working now. If you have multiple controllers, they should all work. And so you come to this screen. First thing you need to do is go down to the little profile, the little green character right here, and choose a profile, do new. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it John Doe. Jondoe. Complete. Okay? Now you need to go to the wrench, this little yellow wrench. You've got three options: tap jump, on or off. Tap jump, if you're like a melee player, you might want this. If you're from Brawl or Smash 4, you may not want to use that. Just preference. Strong attack has to be on. Strong attack, it emulates the Smash attack in every single Smash game, so you gotta have that on. Rumble, it's just preference. Some competitive players would rather have it off. Go to controls. Attack is A, obviously. Special, just select it with the A button. It needs to be B, right? Just like in Smash, your special is your B. Jump is Y. You need to make it X and Y. So you select it and you press both buttons at the same time. Very simple. Strong is R, so that's your C stick, the right joystick R. Then dodge are your triggers. Everything else you can probably, I mean, you can cycle through these pages if you want, assign like a short hop button and all that. But you shouldn't need to. This should be fine. If your attack is A, special B, jump X and Y, strong is the right trigger, which is the C stick, and dodge are your left and right triggers. Okay? And then once you accept that, anytime you pick this profile, whatever you named it, and you select your character, it will save all those settings, so you don't have to do it every time you want to play. Okay? Great. Now I'm going to show you how this works. I'm just going to add a computer here. Go into the game, stage mode. You always want to do classic because the Aether mode sucks. And here you go. It works like a charm. See, just testing out all my keys. Oh shit. And I'm getting shit on by a computer. But that's pretty much it. Make sure everything works, make sure everything's feels like it should be doing what it should be doing. Wave dash and parry and all that stuff. And this is where the select key comes in useful, because when you need to get out of this menu, you press start, and then you press the button that you assigned to select, which is the D-pad up, and that'll take you back to this previous menu. And then from here you can do whatever you need to do. If you press B, you can go back and all that. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.